Okay. Yeah. So does anyone have anything they'd like to share or comment on or ask any questions?
I would, Master Kim.
Yes, please, go ahead.
This is Jan. I had a discovery this morning. Breathing in through the perineum, it shot right up my spine and stopped where I need to go see the chiropractor. So I found that it was a wonderful chiropractic diagnostic tool.
Miss Katz, I have actually had the same findings.
Thank you, Master Kim.
You're most welcome. And for reference, as you keep doing it, and as your movements get better, when you get to the spinal alignment movement, it actually starts releasing from the movement where it starts adjusting. So, and I'm not saying that you shouldn't go to a chiropractor, but I am saying that when you start having that kind of awareness, you have that to look forward to.
Thank you, Master Kim. I do look forward to that.
So, very good. Thank you for sharing that. Okay. Does anyone else have anything they'd like to share, comment on, or ask any questions?
Yeah, I just wanted to share from the Dantian breathing. I had an interesting experience where I felt my small heavenly circle pressurize like way more than I have before. Like typically when I do, I feel it pressurize, and if I do pressurized breathing, things like that, it pressurized. But it was like way more intense, and it felt like just a massive amount of potential energy. And it felt like I've had a feeling from my Dantian of like kind of like the nuclear power kind of thing of like just a lot of potentiality, but I haven't had it. It felt like more from the base area. I felt like just a huge amount of energy, like potentiality, and then it felt like it was coursing through the small heavenly circle. So that was really cool to experience. So I just wanted to share that.
That's good. That's good. That in the small heavenly circle, was it pressurized enough where you felt like heat, like a concentrated heat down the center?
Yes.
Okay. Good. Yeah. That where it feels like the heat is glowing.
Yes.
Okay. Good. Very good. Yeah, that's what you're looking for. That actually spreads through all your meridians.
That is awesome.
Yeah. So you kind of actually feel like this glowing, like when you watch like I forget, like sometimes when you watch a movie and like someone's kind of like in the suit and like the suit's like kind of like at the seams kind of glowing with light. Like I think like the Iron Man suit.
Yeah, I was gonna say, is it like the arc light reactor?
Yeah. It kind of feels like that.
Yeah.
I believe that those things are basically the unconscious mind creating the natural potential flow of our body, and artists basically intuitively actually drawing that, because those drawings are like very like much in line with kind of when you're feeling your meridians and your centers or your chakras opening up. And so and you kind of and not quite, but it literally feels kind of like you're wearing a suit anyways, but the pressure buildup that you're feeling, that pressure buildup is actually the pressure of which you basically bounce off the opponent in pushing hands or yeah. So that's why it's called effortless, So it's not that it's effortless in terms of like there isn't any power or where you're like relaxed in the sense of limp. It's not like that. It's actually, it literally feels like a, I want to say over pressurized hose, but it's okay. It like literally feels like an overfilled hose, you know, that's like pressurized water hose. That's like jumping all over the place, like very powerfully, but the hose is so powerful. And it's actually one of the reasons why, you know, like slow progress is so important, because, you know, if that pressure builds up too fast, it's not good. It's actually one of the reasons why, you know, slow cultivation is, what's the word for it, considered to be necessary. It's also one of the reasons why, you know, I keep saying your body, you can only receive as much chi as your body can handle it. And that's actually what it's referred to. There are actually stories of masters filling the opponent with chi, where the body fills up so much that the internals actually burst from the energy. And yeah, it's crazy. There's actually stories of, so the one thing, so there's something that's called an internal Negong fight. And what it is basically two adversaries who are confident in their chi. Instead of using it as a martial, they actually go basically, they compete chi to chi. And it's considered to be the most dangerous thing. And actually people like avoid it, because if you lose in that, the consequences are a lot more dire. And because as you can imagine, the pressurization, you know, and something going wrong from there.
Yeah, that seems like not a great way to die.
You know, it's not. I'm not sure, you know, it's like, yeah, it's just not a great way to go. And that's called an internal injury. And you know, it's literally an organ injury. And so, but so the goal of Tai Chi is to build the pressure and, you know, actually use that pressure to actually as a means of power generation. And so, and it's one of the reasons why it takes such a long time. And actually, oftentimes when you don't build up the pressure, then you don't get anywhere. And then in that case, you're only trying to use skill, proper skill to actually navigate the situation or handle the opponent, if you want to use that word, which is actually also important. I think, you know, that's important. It's always a combination, because, you know, your chi is not always at full, but you're trying to create the baseline where your body's always pressurized. And so, and it's one of the reasons why, as again, slow training. There are many people in history who've trained to pressurize this, and then they basically actually ended up with worse injuries or even dying because of internal injury from the pressurization. But if you build it over time, slowly, with the goal of balance and health in mind, it's actually one of the best things you can do, because the internal pressure actually really stabilizes your whole body. Right? So, but that's good. Like if you're starting to feel that heat and that glow from the pressurization, then that means that your internal cultivation is actually getting somewhere. So that's really good. So
Thank you.
thanks. Yeah, you're welcome. Okay, great sharing. Thank you for sharing that.
Thank you for the teaching. That is awesome and always inspiring, though, continuing.
Yeah. It is inspiring, right? It's like you never know what you're gonna get. Like you see it. You know, when I first started that, you know, my first Taoist teacher would talk about these kind of things, and then you'd read it in novels and see it in, you know, movies, and these are like just all legends. And then you think that they're actually just stories because, you know, they just come from imagination, and then you experience it and you're like, whoa, You mean to say that that wasn't just, and I actually had a similar story with Master Chen actually, as well, where we talked about that. And you know, it's kind of like, it's rare. Actually, it's very difficult to get to the place where the pressure actually is useful. And so just getting it to feel the pressure where it's good for your health, that's actually even in itself quite an achievement. So, but it's quite the experience. It's, you know, at least the personal experience is kind of like a journey of, I want to say, magic, mystery, and a personal journey of kind of the journey of a hero. You know, it kind of feels like that, because really your internal world opens up in a complete different way. It has. I feel like when most people talk about their internal world, their inner world opening, you know, I feel like most of the time people are talking about their emotional world and their mind. But, you know, this goes into the instincts and the energetics. And I feel like outside of the stories of cultivation, it's very difficult to come across references to the inner experience being that of not just emotions and the mind, but also of the instinct and the energy, and then that integrating. And to me, that's very inspiring. Okay. Very good. So thank you for sharing that.
Thank you. And also inspiring for me. That is really true. And I really appreciate that.
Good. Okay. So as always, I'm going to say, don't rush, enjoy, don't try and replicate it. Just do what you're doing today, and then it will stabilize by itself. And then if you do want to try because of curiosity, then try it. And then if it doesn't happen, just go back to the foundation and keep training. But then the accidents increase.
Sounds perfect. Thank you.
Okay, very good. Okay. Does anyone else have anything they'd like to share or comment on or ask any questions?
I can share. I have been feeling sad about not being able to dance in groups of people. And today, for some reason, while I was watching you, I felt like your body was speaking. Like it felt more like a conversation. And then it started to feel like a dance, like we were dancing together. And then I started to feel like, oh, I've had this separation in my mind that, you know, tai chi is movement, but it's not dancing, that they've just been in different categories. But I started to feel like I was dancing while we were doing the gold series and while we were doing the form, and felt like I was dancing with you, like I was dancing with the snow, like I was dancing with my bookshelf. It just felt like it it integrated. So
yeah,
I was really
yeah.
appreciating that. Like, oh yeah, I get to dance, you know, not just in this, like idea I have in my brain, but all the time if I want to.
Yeah. Very good. Good for you. Yeah. You know, it's kind of, actually, I've had this actually conversation with actually a lot of my teachers actually. And, you know, one of the things, it's kind of like, you know, my interest in my youth was martial arts, right? So, but my teachers would tell me that, you know, tai chi is not martial arts, nor is it a dance, but yet it is both. And so it's kind of interesting. I've seen my teachers get frustrated with people who did dance and then learn Tai Chi and thought, oh, so Tai Chi is a dance. And then they get frustrated. And then martial artists will say, oh, Tai Chi is a martial art. And then they get frustrated. And then, but what you said is, you know, it's like really spot on. If it doesn't feel like a dance, it's not Tai Chi. I can say that.
I love that. That opens up the whole world. Thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome. Yeah. I feel like that's why it's so enjoyable. And so, you know, even when, you know, I'm sparring, it actually feels like a dance. And so, because it's a joining of movement, it's, you know, finding oneness in all things. You know, the dance, Samoans, I think they're called Samoans, the indigenous people of Australia, I believe.
Yeah. Samoans?
Yeah.
Is that what you said?
Yeah. You know, their dance is like very intense. And they have a warrior dance. And I feel like, and there's, you know, gentle dance, and, you know, there's like exotic dance. And I feel like, you know, a dance is a movement where you're freely moving and experiencing oneness, typically through music, but actually music is nothing more than vibration. And vibration is always ever present. There's a music of the universe. And so therefore, as long as you're moving in relation to vibration, you should have the experience of dancing. So I just wanted to say that because that's the experience of oneness and the joining and the freedom and the exploration and so I just wanted to kind of just expand the
really
scopes.
helpful.
Yeah. So that your access point, you know, obviously you're a dancer, you know, the way you said that. So if that's the case, then just joining the world through your access point that was readily given to you by the divine, you know, by creation. You know, that's your access point for oneness. If that's your access point for oneness, well, we need to make sure that you fully utilize that. So in any given moment, and know that non-movement is a dance with stillness. And if you understand that, then even non-movement will feel like a dance. Yeah, there, sinking into it.
It makes me sad how limited the idea of dance and of music and of art is in our culture, because I feel like it really limits this experience. If you don't have this kind of framework, then you can only dance in a studio or on a stage or at a party. But yeah, there's just so many, you know, like the opportunity that's there all of the time is not available just because of the way, like for me, the way I was thinking about it.
Yeah. You know, it's actually one of the reasons that inspired me to try and talk about these concepts more, for the very reason you just talked about. You know, that was my initial reason, because I felt that everything was so limiting. Um, and it's all of a sudden like really the whole universe comes together, and like really everything is one. It's like the thing that you enjoy in one area really spreads into all the other areas, and the principles that makes one area successful govern all the other areas of life. What makes one thing successful is the same as all the other things, and they're universal and common to all things. And so to just understand that, it just really enriches. It's almost like whether you're a power lifter or a gymnast or a ballet dancer, the thing that governs success is actually the same, just the application is a little bit different depending on the area, the area, if you want to call it the area of expertise. And so, it's kind of like what I see people do, what I experienced even in my own life and like everyone else's life that was around me. What I saw was a disconnection of when people were alive, when they were doing the things that they enjoyed, and then when they were no longer alive, outside of that. Mm-hmm. And to me, that was like really sad. And when this made sense to me, like all aspects of life became enjoyable because it's just the same thing, It's like, if you're a musician, then when you're doing math, do math like you're doing music. Or do the dishes like, you're playing music. It's like the same thing. Everything is the same. And that universality of joy and of oneness and that concept. And, I found that to be so, and that you don't need to wait. You don't need to wait forever. As long as you actually have one area that actually is empowering, you actually have all of life, and everyone has some area, even if it is being miserable. If you're really good at being miserable, it's like you're really good at it, actually. Mm-hmm. And it's like you don't have a choice. You got to be good at something. That's just you don't have a choice actually about it. We just have judgments on what is better. But the universe just doesn't distinguish that. The universe just makes sure you're good at something. Because, from a universe perspective, there's no difference. So, but anyways.
That's such a liberating mindset. Thank you, Master Kim.
You're welcome. Okay. Very good. Okay. My time is up. So hope you enjoyed, and may your day be filled with oneness through that which you were meant to connect.
Thank you so much, Master.
Thank you, Master Kim.
You're welcome. Okay, bye.